Hello, I'm Peachy and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be painting the Kroot kill team from the Into the Dark box set. Now this is part 2 of a 3-part series where we'll be taking through how to paint literally everything in that box set, whether that's the navy breeches or the Gallo Dark scenery. For today we're going to be painting the Kroot, and in the words of the Kroot, welcome to the painting phase. With this Kroot kill team, what we're going to be doing is showing you how to paint a quick and efficient colour scheme using mainly dry brushes, shades and contrasts. Meaning not only we have a kill team ready to play as soon as, but they'll look pretty decent to boot. And then we'll also take you through some extra stages if you want to add some highlights after. So let's crack on. Now first with our Kroot, we're going to undercoat them with Death Guard Green. Now don't worry if you don't have this spray, you can use whatever you want to and always base coat it by hand if you need to. So the first thing I'm going to do now is heavily dry brush over with Ionrach Skin. Not only will this give you some nice definition to the Kroot skin, but also pre-highlight the other areas we intend to paint too. And then using grey cere instead of Ionrach Skin, this will give you a paler finish after the wash has been applied, so you get an alternate skin tone. To add a bit of variety to the unit, I chose to paint one of the hounds with a grey cere dry brush and a couple of the other warriors as well. What we're now going to do is coat over the entire model using Poxwalker. Now if you notice it pooling in some of those areas, just get a clean brush and soak it up. What we're now going to do is pick out any black details with Black Legion. So this is things like the vest or some of the leather details here and there. Also, don't forget those nails and claws on the model as well. We're now going to apply Garaghaks sewer over any brown details. This is leathery details like the belts and pouches. We'll also be applying it to the head quills as well as any on the limbs. So you might see like little ones here on the thighs and also around the elbows and wrists. Using some Sigvald Burgundy straight from the pot, we're going to apply this over the cloaks. Also, I'm just going to apply a little bit under the eyes as well and around any scars. Next up, we're going to be using a little bit of grey cere. This is mainly going to be used for the pulse carbine, as well as those eyes and any little bits of stitching, keeping that tatty looking clothing together. What we're going to use now is Iron Hand Steel to pick out any silver details. So this is mainly the weapons and also things like hooks and ammo scattered across the models. For all those gold adornments and jewelry, we're using Retributor Armour. Most of this is like rings and like little ringlets on the quills, but also there's some little gold details on some of the special weapons as well. So we've got the Vorderite Skinner, so just pick out some gold details on there, as well as anything on that bow. Lastly, what we're now going to do is apply Nuln oil over all those details except the skin. So be mindful when you are applying this, if you do find you get some on the skin, just get a brush that's dry and just soak it up. Unless you want to add a little variety to the skin tones of your Kroot, then by all means coat it all over. With our Kroot warriors almost ready to play games with, what we do need to do is base them. Now, you can get textured bases if you wanted, but we're just using the stuff straight from the box. So we're just going to use a plain old base, and we're just going to paint up and make it look a little bit rusty, just to add to that Gallo Dark theme. Now, if you've not seen how we've done the navy ones, we're just going to go over that again in this video. So just keep watching and see how we did it. So first up, we're going to be using Iron Warriors and coat over the entire base with that. Then we're just going to completely coat that with Nuln oil and just leave that to dry for around about 30 minutes. Then getting some Gryph Hound orange, we're just going to try and make some little rusty patches. Again, try not to think too much about this, just try and be random. Once you start thinking about it, it stops being random and then gets quite sort of regimented, so just be mindful of that. And lastly, just to add some oil stains, we're going to get some Ratling Grime and just do little dots here and there. You can always add a second dot once it's dry, just to add a bit more depth to it. And then finally, we're just going to rim those bases using Corvus Black. Now I like to do 3 thin coats here because it gives it a nice smoother finish. And with the bases done, our Kroot are ready to play games with, so crack on and get some good kill team games going on. Now, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also we have a Patreon account, so please support us on that as well. However, if you want to add some extra details to your Kroot, stay tuned, because we're going to do that now. So even though we did a big dry brush at the start, just to pick out those skin tones, what we're now going to do is just do a subtle dry brush of Ionrach Skin over our Kroot. What this is going to do is just going to pick out those burgundy tones, pick out some of the highlights on the leather, as well as any black details. Now, if we did it all in one go, it'd be quite messy, so that's why we're just doing a subtle dry brush right now. Pretty much just dry brush everything apart from those metallics. We don't want to mess up those guns. Just for a little bit more definition, we are just going to highlight the skin just with a brush and a nice point. And what we're going to do is just pick out some of those facial details around the brow and also things like knuckles. And I'm just going to layer the little belly bits as well. A little bit of age and rust to our weaponry, we're now going to get some Garaghaks sewer and just thin that down with 2 parts water or medium, whichever you prefer, and then we're just going to add that over. Again, just be mindful of it pooling as well. And in some places I'm just using my finger just to dab, and that gives it a bit more of a natural sort of rust effect as well. And the last paint we're going to be using is Grey Sear, and we're going to be picking out the eyes as well as picking out the edges on that pulse rifle. Again, just giving it a little bit more punch. We don't want it too clean and crisp like all the tail weaponry. Now, if you do make a mess of those eyeballs, don't worry, just get some Sigvald Burgundy, drop that back in there and just start again. Our eyes picked out, our Kroot kill team is now done. And they can see, which is great when it comes to rolling dice to shooting and hitting stuff, which is perfect. Now, if you've not checked out our other videos, they will appear somewhere up here. So the navy breeches will be up there, and at some point, the Garaghaks scene will appear as well, because Pat's a magician and he'll make it happen. Now, we have a whole bunch of links in the description. Everything we've used in this video can be bought from Element Games, so please check out our affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help support our channel. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that really does help us. And also, we have a Patreon account, so please support us on that as well. So farewell, human meat prey. In the words of the Kroot, chaka chaka boom boom, ducky ducky ducky, kaka, kaka. You're so beautiful to me, kaka, kaka.